The crowded hallway feels like a pressure cooker. Students rushing, laughing, shoving past each other. Lockers slam. Voices overlap in a noisy symphony of teenage life. Aaliyah walks through the chaos, her fresh afro a crown on her head, bold, beautiful, and defiant. She's proud of it, even if it makes her stand out. But today, that pride is mixed with anxiety. Her headphones cushion the noise, but they can't block the stares. Some curious, some hostile. She keeps her gaze forward, careful to avoid eye contact. Her fingers nervously brush her hair as she walks, a small, silent act of reassurance. Then, across the hall, Jake spots her. His eyes gleam with that familiar mix of mischief and cruelty. He nudges his friends, pointing at Aaliyah like a predator zeroing in on prey. "Hey, Aaliyah!" he calls out, loud and mocking. "What's up with that hair? You trying to start a jungle out here or what? Looks like you forgot to comb it today." His friends snicker and laugh, the sound echoing off the lockers. Some nearby kids whisper, "Ghetto," and "weird." Their voice is low but sharp enough to sting. Aaliyah freezes. Her heart hammers in her chest. Heat rises in her cheeks, burning with humiliation and rage. Her fists clench tightly at her sides, nails digging into her palms. She wants to scream back, to tell Jake off, but the words get stuck, tangled with fear and frustration. She looks around quickly. A few students laugh along. Some whisper behind their hands, while others glance away, uncomfortable but unwilling to step in. The silence of bystanders feels like a weight pressing down on her. Jake grins, sensing her silence as a victory. He steps closer, his voice rising louder, sharper. "Hey, I'm talking to you. You gonna say something, or just stand there looking like a mess?" The hallway seems to shrink, the walls closing in as Aaliyah's chest tightens. Her breath hitches, caught between fighting back and protecting herself. Suddenly, a few of Jake's friends start mimicking her hairstyle, twisting their hands in exaggerated, mocking motions. The laughter grows louder, more aggressive. One kid even says, "Look at the jungle queen." Aaliyah's eyes flash with anger, but her voice is gone. Her pride battles her fear. She wants to hold her ground, but the social pressure is overwhelming. She feels isolated, like everyone is watching a game she didn't sign up for. Emma stands a few feet away, her face etched with worry. She clenches her fists, but stays frozen. The invisible barrier of fear and social dynamics keeping her silent. The bell rings, breaking the tension, but the damage lingers. Aaliyah takes a deep breath, then turns sharply and walks away. Her steps quick and determined, but heavy with pain. Her headphones slip from her ears as the noise swells back, drowning out the music. The laughter fades into a dull roar in her mind. But the sting of Jake's words burns brightly. Her footsteps echo, a mix of quiet defiance, hurt, and the first cracks of a silent battle she knows she'll have to fight. The school hallway buzzed with the usual morning chaos. Lockers banging, students chatting, sneakers squeaking on the floor. But beneath the noise, there was a heaviness, a tension pulling at the edges of everything. Aaliyah moved carefully through the crowd, clutching her books tight to her chest. Her fresh afro still stood proud, but she had pulled her hoodie up over her head, trying to make herself smaller, less noticeable. Her steps were measured, cautious. From his spot near the lockers, Jake watched her like a hawk. His grin was sharp, but void of any real warmth. His friends hovered nearby, sensing the drama about to unfold. Suddenly, Jake stepped forward, blocking Aaliyah's path like a wall. "Hey, what's up with that hair? Looks like you're trying to start a jungle right here in the hallway," he said, leaning in, his voice low but venomous. He smirked, waiting for a reaction. Aaliyah's jaw tightened. She swallowed hard, her eyes fixed on the floor. Jake's voice rose, mocking and louder. "Bet your whole family's got that ghetto pride, huh? Don't you ever want to look normal for once?" Aaliyah's fists clenched at her sides, nails digging into her palms. Her lips pressed tight, refusing to give him the satisfaction of a reply. Fear and anger mixed behind her eyes, but she was trapped in silence. Jake's friends laughed, echoing his cruel joke. The hallway felt colder, the noise dimming around her. Later that day, Aaliyah sat alone at a corner table, trying to eat quietly. She kept her eyes on her food, headphones in to block out the noise. Jake and his friends sauntered over, loud and obnoxious. Jake cleared his throat dramatically. "Yo, check it out. Here's Aaliyah, talking all fancy and cool, but we all know how she really talks," he said loudly, drawing attention. He suddenly imitated her voice with exaggerated gestures and slang. "Aaliyah's all like, 'Yo, that's so tight, fam.'" His friends burst into laughter. Some nearby students chuckled awkwardly, but no one stepped in. Aaliyah's cheeks burned with humiliation. She tightened her grip on her fork, staring down at her plate, swallowing the lump rising in her throat. The next morning, Aaliyah stood in front of the bathroom mirror, adjusting her hair carefully. She was trying to hold on to her pride, smoothing out a stray curl. Suddenly, Jake's voice cut through the quiet. "Watch out, world. Here comes the queen of the jungle. Should I bring a safari hat next time?" Aaliyah froze, then quickly turned away, cheeks burning hot with shame and anger. Her hands trembled slightly as she rushed out of the bathroom. Later, near the lockers, Jake cornered her again, his voice dropping to a low, threatening whisper. "If you think about telling Mr. Perez or anyone else about me, you'll regret it. Got it?" His friends laughed darkly behind him, the sound like a warning. Aaliyah's breath caught in her throat. The threat was real and chilling. She nodded slightly, swallowing hard, the shame and fear settling deep inside her chest. Emma watched all this from a distance, biting her lip in frustration. She wanted to step in, to say something, but the fear of being targeted kept her frozen. Other students glanced away, uncomfortable but unwilling to risk involvement. The hallway felt colder, emptier, like no one wanted to break the silence. Heart pounding, mind spinning with the cruel words and threats, Aaliyah pulled her hoodie tighter and walked away quickly. Each step echoed the silent battle raging inside her, between holding on to her dignity and the crushing weight of isolation. The classroom is quiet now. The buzz of the school day faded into a soft hum. Students are working on their assignments, heads bent over notebooks, the scratch of pencils the only sound. Aaliyah sits near the window, her books open but untouched. Her fingers nervously play with a strand of her hair, twisting and untwisting it in small, restless motions. Her eyes look distant, clouded with the weight of what she's been carrying. The door opens slightly, and Mr. Perez steps in, pausing for a moment as he scans the room. His eyes settle on Aaliyah, who looks like she's about to break but is holding it together. He approaches her desk quietly and lowers his voice, gentle but firm. "Aaliyah, hey, everything okay? You seem different today." Aaliyah blinks, startled, and quickly tries to pull herself together. She shakes her head, forcing a small, tight smile. "I'm fine, Just tired, I guess, she says. Mr. Perez. Aaliyah hesitates, the fear of Jake's threats pressing down on her. She bites her lip, wanting to trust him but unsure if she can risk it. She looks around the room. Other students are focused on their work, oblivious to her struggle. Her voice barely above a whisper. She finally admits, "It's complicated." Mr. Perez nods slowly, understanding. "Whenever you're ready, I'm here." He gives her a small, encouraging smile before quietly moving on to check on other students. Aaliyah exhales deeply, the tension in her shoulders easing just a little. For the first time in days, she feels a tiny flicker of hope. But the fear hasn't disappeared. It's still there, lurking in the back of her mind. She looks down at her hands, clenched tight in her lap, and silently vows to find the strength to face what's coming. The classroom hums with quiet energy as students work on their assignments. Mr. Perez moves through the rows of desks, checking in with students, offering nods of encouragement, answering quiet questions. He pauses by Aaliyah's desk, noticing her tense posture and the way her eyes stay fixed on the page without really seeing it. He kneels slightly beside her desk to meet her gaze, his voice gentle. "Aaliyah, you seem like you've got a lot on your mind. Want to talk about it?" Aaliyah hesitates. There's a long pause as she considers whether to speak. Then she takes a deep breath. "It's Jake. He's been making fun of my hair, saying stuff about my family, and I'm scared to tell anyone because he threatened me." Mr. Perez listens carefully, his expression serious but kind. He doesn't interrupt, doesn't look shocked, just listens, fully present. "Thank you for trusting me with this," he says. "What Jake's doing is not okay. No one has the right to make you feel unsafe or ashamed of who you are." He pauses, letting the words land, then continues with quiet but firm reassurance. "Here's the thing. Silence can feel like the safest option, but it also gives bullies power. When we speak up, we take that power away, and you don't have to do it alone." Aaliyah looks uncertain, biting her lip, her fingers tightening around the edge of her desk. "If you ever feel scared," Mr. Perez says, "remember, I'm here. We can work together to keep you safe. And if Jake tries to scare you, that only shows how weak his words really are." He smiles, warm and steady. "Being proud of your hair, your culture, your identity, that's something to celebrate, not hide. Don't let anyone make you feel otherwise." Aaliyah exhales slowly. The weight in her shoulders begins to lift, just a little. Her voice is soft but clearer now. "Thanks, Mr. Perez. I want to try. I want this to stop." Mr. Perez nods, his expression filled with calm encouragement. "That's the first step, and I'm proud of you. We'll figure this out together." As Mr. Perez moves on to check in with another student, Aaliyah glances around the room. The light from the window feels a little warmer. Something inside her shifts. A spark of hope, small but real, flickers to life. For the first time, she feels like she might have a chance to reclaim her strength. The school auditorium buzzed with activity as students rehearsed for the upcoming play. The stage was set, and the cast moved across it with energy and focus, practicing lines, shifting props, and calling cues to one another. The room pulsed with the excitement and nerves of performance. Mr. Perez stood off to the side, arms crossed, watching the rehearsal unfold with a thoughtful expression. His eyes settled on Jake, who was loitering nearby with his friends, cracking jokes and playing the class clown, clearly more interested in entertaining his circle than anything happening on stage. "Jake, I want you to try out for this part," Mr. Perez called out, interrupting the banter. Jake perked up immediately, grinning, assuming it was something cool. "All right, what's the role?" he asked. Mr. Perez handed him a script and pointed to a character description on the page. This character wears a wig styled like Aaliyah's natural hair, an afro, full and proud, he said calmly. Jake's grin faltered. The moment of confidence drained from his face. His friends burst into laughter almost instantly, feeding off each other's teasing. "Yo, Jake's gonna look crazy with that hair. Bet you can't pull off the jungle look like Aaliyah," one of them joked. "Man, you're gonna be the joke of the whole school," another added with a snort. Jake tried to laugh it off, forcing a smirk, but his face tightened. The thought of wearing the wig, of being seen in the same way he'd mocked Aaliyah for, made him uncomfortable in a way he hadn't expected. During rehearsal, he fiddled awkwardly with the wig, pulling it on and off, glancing nervously at the other students. The teasing followed him, not loud, but sharp. Whispers, smirks, snickers passed between peers. He felt eyes on him everywhere he moved. After rehearsal ended, Jake walked over to Mr. Perez, his voice low and uneasy. "Mr. Perez, everyone's making fun of me because of this. The hair, the wig. It's embarrassing." Mr. Perez looked at him steadily, calm and measured. He nodded. "Jake, this isn't about embarrassment. It's about understanding how your words and actions affect others. You're walking in Aaliyah's shoes, feeling what she's felt." Jake's eyes dropped to the floor. The laughter in the background still lingered, but it no longer felt like a joke. "Maybe now you can see why those jokes hurt so much," Mr. Perez continued. "It's not just hair, it's about respect, about seeing each other as human." Jake swallowed hard. The teasing faded into a blur as the weight of Mr. Perez's words settled in. For the first time, he began to understand. The classroom felt quieter than usual. Jake sat at his desk, the wig now off, but the memory of wearing it still fresh in his mind. His friends' teasing echoed faintly in his thoughts, but there was something new gnawing at him. Guilt. He stared down at his notebook, barely seeing the page, when Mr. Perez approached him calmly. "Jake, sometimes it takes walking in someone else's shoes to understand the impact we have," Mr. Perez said, his tone firm, but not unkind. "You're better than the jokes you made." Jake looked up, his eyes tired but sincere. "I didn't realize how much I hurt her," he admitted. "I thought it was just jokes, but it wasn't." Mr. Perez nodded in approval, his expression steady. "Good. Now the important part is what you do next." Later that day, Jake spotted Aaliyah alone in the hallway by her locker. She was gathering her books, her posture quiet but composed. Jake hesitated. The loud confidence that usually carried him through every interaction was gone, replaced with uncertainty. He stepped closer. "Aaliyah, hey," he said, voice softer than usual. "I wanted to say I'm sorry for all the stuff I said about your hair and everything else." Aaliyah looked up surprised. Her eyes were guarded, cautious, but there was curiosity there too. "I didn't really get it before," Jake continued. "I didn't think about how much it hurt you. I was just being stupid." She studied him for a long moment. Then, slowly, she nodded. "Thanks for saying that," she said. "It means something." Jake gave a small, relieved smile. "I want to do better. I'm gonna try." For the first time, there was a fragile but real connection between them, a small bridge beginning to form across the divide. It wasn't everything, but it was a start. Treat others with respect. What seems like a joke to you can deeply hurt someone else. Understanding, empathy, and courage can break the cycle of bullying.